and shadows, as well as zone priority.
Man, I'm still... Well, Mouse gets picked off there. I'm still reeling from that last game.
It was fantastic, but one thing I want to talk about rather than going back to last game, just right there, you saw how it looked like he shot him through the stair. If a build is yellow, that indicates that there is a player or something currently phasing through it that is causing it to not complete building. This means that projectiles and other things will continue to pass through it until it gets built. Both the shots going through there. Well done from Jaylee. Now on board with FaZe's Jarvis, the player who in week 7 was just 2 points out of qualification. The controller lord out of the West ended up taking home the Fortnite Friday with FaZe Tilt just this past weekend. Can he add a World Cup qualification spot to his resume? He desperately wants to, sitting right now on 25 points.
We're about to hit Storm Circle 6 as well. And again, another dense lobby, 41 players. We started on about 45, and it's been thinned out just a little bit here. Now look at this. We have to begin making rotations through Neil Tilted. Chef Shaba there going to be picked up by Jarvis, his 3rd elimination. People separated by a single build. Jarvis, all right. I like the impulses to reposition, and he's going to be able to farm a little bit of wood there as well. Okay, I like it.
Yeah, impulses can be a little risky. You don't necessarily always know where you're going to land, but with all of these player-based structures over here, it gets him into the center of zone and allows him to spray shots back down the rest of the lobby, hitting a couple of tags there. You can see the Storm Surge warning on the right-hand side. 3 more players need to go down. Kicks does get converted over by the Storm. Jarvis now opting for the impulse play and catching himself on top of the builds. Immediately turns, saw that player, knows he's a tarp above or in shadow form now, drops the edit, and he's going to work back through the Burger Tower.
Okay, I like this too, because if you're using build, you expose yourself. Or you could not use a build and hide in a little corner here. This is what makes Neil Tilted so dangerous. We see players just all the way around. We're at 28 players. This lobby is going to continue to thin out.
.26 players left, and you also notice he kept ducking out into the storm, trying to catch that player, not covering his back, but was well enough. Gets directly on top of Papo Anthony. You can run, but you can't hide. Jarvis is inevitable. Match 5 elims and top 25, but Little takes out Wheels, another fantastic contender. We saw him and Jay, and Jarvis just pickaxe the ball out into the storm. That's going to be storm damage, and actually huge strike.
I don't know. No, stavo non li ho molto.
Most of the time they do want to play passive. We've seen a couple of those go through. If he holds off on the grip, no shots coming out from everyone as the dive can go out. A number of
I like that.
players who just want to stay in the wall.
Yes, dive in. There you go. Connect with it. That was beautiful.
He needs to get back in his zone. He does find a nice little spot. Now he has that high ground heard. Just called out. Some of those challenges and plays the fire. Ruined it.
And a dude just outside top 15.
That's so rough when you put in that much time, but he's going to be okay with that. Still a double-digit performance there out of Jarvis. Now flips the fire, drops down onto a little girl. Little girl trying to get out over around the side. No, that's not who's playing. That's his name. As we check over into the mid-card, we've got World Cup Deuces trying to manifest that positive energy, doing everything he can. We've seen him in these lobbies before, but Barrow is trying to have a say about it. The dual qualifiers wanting a solo spot desperately. And Arthur trying to get those as Spike gets hooked up on the way down.
these Rockets down to this mid-round top. Deuces, Zed, they're going to all force down toward Arkansas. They're going up on the side of this round. They need to make something happen. They need to, okay, they're going to battle out. Arkansas here. The one they need, the Rockets to come out. Thankfully, the storm goes in the completely opposite direction. It was just a tease. It was just a joke. Look out below. Rapid gets picked up. 45 there. Gonna be going toe-to-toe up on the high ground, though. Moray here is going to be battling out with Moray the second. All right, a bunch of players involved. Now 7 players remain. Great setup on Moray here. This is String. No fall damage. So look at everyone else. They're deep within the build. You've got 2 players down below the one building. They've got to be out of materials. Can Moray take advantage of the Broxer up on top? He still has them. But look at everyone down below. Everyone else is battling it out right now.
Yeah, we're into the top 5, top 4 now. Broxer top right on the high ground. He says, not only high ground, let's destroy the parade down there. Only one target above. Moray gets Mo and gets the match from it. There, Broxer gets Iron Turtle. Moray has a shadow if he wants to try and retake. Zone is closing. Also has 75 to 24 build. But Broxer doesn't care. Shoot first, ask questions later. Broxer putting pressure onto Moray. The zone is there. Moray tries to dip out. And Broxer 2 players for your own good. Broxer 5 units and the Victoria. 15 points there to push him up to 32. That match was ridiculous. For now, we're going to throw it back on over Courage.
Thank you, gentlemen. Yes, great energy from Zeke and Sundown. What you don't see behind the scenes is Zeke currently taking his shoes off, socks out.
Honestly, it was extremely relaxed.
He's looking real comfortable. The energy's there. I like it. I respect it a lot. I love hearing those two. Unlike Courage joined by Dr. Lupo as they catch up to speed on a few things going on while the NA West action unfolds. Obviously, intense down the wire in some of those games, but there are some big performance. We saw Jarvis looking at the nine there at 16 plays in a better
I'll go buy young boy and I sit in the top. Well, come on, come in. I was younger than the time. I'm kind of flex. Alright, y'all, I'm about to go live for a long time. So, after this one,
It's going to be absolutely ridiculous. Matching height there, catching Psycho on the rotation down. But like you said, Aaron's not the only player from NA West putting on a good show. Jarvis, you mentioned shots on the outside, little peek shot on another player, getting third party, taking opportunities every time they have a chance. Very, very important that players are paying attention to who's around them and what exactly they're doing and maybe what other people are doing to them. Jarvis says the impulse over the top, flying away there. Get an escape. You got a landing on top of another baller player. Papo Anthony goes down and picks up a quick little set of loot. We've seen those kind of chases pretty often too. You have players that are flying through the air and they'll follow someone on a redeploy, or baller, the rift to go and landing literally inside the same box, taking ownership of it. You mentioned Arkham here. Patience is so key. We're in the top 5 at the very end here, and Arkham sitting on the ultimate low ground, waiting for players literally to drop in like that. Deuces goes down, another one, and Arkham's just going for a flick, looking for the next, finds a follow-up. Another one, back to back to back to back, and Arkham doesn't even need to climb his way out until the very last second, and even then, Barl goes down to himself.
Yeah.
The feed, Arkham took it over. NA West, just top-tier awareness, but still at 49 points, still in first place. Pika from WBG, but Harrian's right here. We saw a ton of clips from him at the beginning of this set of replays there.
Yep.
Taking second place
Pika,
so far.
Pika 3 games played, 3 wins. Thankfully for everyone else on this list, Pika already qualified. So because Pika's already qualified, it would be players in second and third if it were to remain this same score line. We'll see if that happens though, Dr. Lupo. So far, NA West looking great. Obviously still some time to queue. So that being said,
Just throw it back, Jack.
maybe send it back on over to our casters to keep the action going. Zeke and Sundown, take it away.
Thank you guys so much. Oh, did I cut you off? You want to do it? All right, let's pretend I'm
Oh, no, that's fine. You can take it. That was cool. I didn't have my hand up or anything. It's fine. Too busy showing everyone how you're lounging.
Yeah, no, I feel...
Did you use the hashtag Fortnite World Cup?
I did.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, so just for your context, in case you're just tuning in, Dr. Lupo and Courage JD decided to go ahead and call me out, expose me say that I'm straight lounging right now. If you check Twitter, it's true. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's just Zeke Loki trying to plug his Twitter there. Don't give him the
I didn't say anything.
Not about
Didn't say anything.
Oh, yep, nothing low-key about it. Indeed, as we're all here on board with Dexstar. 43 players left in the lobby, and it's about to crunch down. And again, you saw the standings right before this. That was basically a who's who of who hasn't qualified yet in terms of the NA West side. Minus Pika, all of those other players have been so absurdly close. CJ, Harrians, Domo, all of them have been up on that board, and this is the last opportunity. Cannot stress that enough. The final 2 solo spots will be decided in this last block. If you want to be on the stage, you have to put up or shut up right now. Because if you don't, you're going to be sitting there and you're going to be regretting it. You're going to be feeling like you didn't accomplish it. But one other thing that I desperately have to state. Just because you don't qualify for New York City means you're a bad Fortnite player. Anytime you make it to Sunday in your region, you are in the very top percentile of the people who play this game. There are millions and tens of millions of people who have tried and played Fortnite. Don't get discouraged. You are incredibly good. You are among the best of the best. If you want to continue taking it seriously, there will be something to play for. It's not going anywhere. There's always going to be more Fortnite games to play, whether it's community events or other things. You can find ways to improve. You can go through, you can watch the VODs, you can pick yourself up, you can talk to another player, or similar to what the S2 guys did, find like-minded players, join one of those friend groups, ask players for advice, keep pushing yourself, because you're not going to get better by giving up. And hey, if you do want to give up and it's not for you, that's also okay. There are a ton of other games out there, and gaming is not just a singular thing. Games are fantastic, particularly with E3 going on, a bunch of new and fantastic titles out there that deserve to be celebrated. But right now, we're here playing Fortnite, trying to decide those final 2 spots, and Andrew picks up Uncle Iroh. That's the T right there.
I love every time you make that reference.
It's so good.
It is very, very good. These references are next level. Just to expand a tiny little baby bit on that, you know, we get it. We know it's a very difficult competition. We understand that, you know, it means the world to qualify, and if you don't, it feels like the weight of the world is just on top of you, and you doubt everything, your skill, your ability to play all these things. But we promise you, you are here for a reason. You've made it to the top 3,000 in your respective region because of how incredible at Fortnite and how skilled you are as a player. So keep your head up, keep grinding, keep your head up, keep pushing. I promise it'll all pay off in the end. Hashtag Fortnite World Cup, man.
And
Never
also,
forget.
hey, hashtag Fortnite World Cup. What did your improvement look like over the course of the World Cup? Did you get more points? Did you have one of those days that were really good for you? What was your story like? How was it competing in the first open tournament, in the largest open tournament that has been run? Let us know, because we want to hear about it. We want to know what your experience was like, what you liked, and what you didn't like. Give us some of the positives in there so we're able to iterate on all of that stuff. But as we said now, pressure plant going through, geysers going, and Terrainy is extending his shadow form because, as we said, his feet doesn't touch the ground. So that answers the question about what that interaction looks like. The real question is, if he hung out on a zip line, would he still just stay in that shadow form? Who knows? Top 25 placement points are abound, and Terrainy now has priority on the zone. He's going to look back and try and catch all the people who are hot feeding right by, but that is an incredibly tough shot to hit. 23, and does he get meteored by the other player? He does. He's in the box. He's stuck in there. Doesn't look like the player recognizes, so he's just gonna boop right out the side in a box with the baller player. One trap down, finds doesn't find the trap, but finds the shot because Cryo has to move to the other side. 16 players remaining. Harrians and Andrew still in the lobby. Nobody wants to be the last one. Trap fires. Player gets to the opposite side, puts the ramp down. Tyranny being like, nah, I'm not dealing with that. Bernie picks up Oppo Whip, and we have our top 15. Harrians gets Kytrex, and Rick gets Orba, and the lobby is thinning fast.
Exactly, and look at this. Another one just picked up like that. We're nearing top 5 so quickly. But look at this. You still have people all the way around. Players being eliminated left and right. Up on the high ground, though, Hustle and Allrum looks like they're going to contest right now. Harrian says, everyone up top, go ahead and come on down. I'd like to just go ahead and send you back to the lobby. So there you go. Now, Hustle did not drop all the way down. He still has the highest ground tarp, so he's just going to keep applying pressure from above. Now, I'm curious, does Harians have more rockets? Okay, you answered my question. Thank you. Did you read my mind? How did he know?
Threw it right on up there. You see Andrew picks up drip traits, but Hustle starting to row kind of thin on mats. He has 22 left, but it should be okay to hold high ground for now. Is dealing with oh no, he picked up ammo from that last Elam, so he's okay. Dexterity picks up J Roses, and we're into the top 5. Harians goes down just inside of it. Tyranny picks up Dexterity now, so 1v1 between Tyranny and Hustle. Tyranny up on the high ground. Hustle going to take it away. Double ramps out into the side. 90 and then reverse flips it, but gets coned off by Tyranny. Great cone there, so Hustle now going to drop back down. One thing to note though, Hustle has the bandages, but no builds. If it goes to full close and he's okay, it should go to him. The difference between bandages versus a slurp and a campfire is minuscule, but Hustle slips up, only had the 50 HP, and gets taken out by a very slight change in elevation. That's not Old Man Mountain, that's like the newborn hill, but it was enough.
It was enough. I love fighting Volcano because it just makes like the action feel more action movie. It's like we're fighting over lava. Who will win? Food. Oh, between the slats. Hashtag Fortnite World Cup. Send observers your love. That was dope. All right, I liked that one. That was a pretty dang good one. I liked it. But look at this, Rux. Rux hasn't qualified, right? No, Pika and Rux have qualified. Excuse me, I
They've
missed
qualified in solos, haven't qualified as a duo.
Yes, so one more opportunity in this next weekend to try and come through.
Actually, it will be on the Thursday and Friday, June 20th and 21st because of those changed times. Also, don't forget those hours have been pushed back, and the prize pools have been doubled for that rescheduling. Again, you can see the qualification spots on the right-hand side. 19 were up for grabs today. 17 have gone down, and 2 more are available here in the West. Who will be able to take one away as Rux begins spraying shots out there, swaps to the combat, gets a 12 and a 9 tag there, so knows the player is on whites but won't be able to find it. Instead, gets mitts with a little bit of help from the Storm.
Man, another dense lobby. Now keep in mind, we're coming, the circle is already moving. The Storm circle is already moving. We're getting closer to that Storm Circle 6. Rux here, a little bit of a tough spot. He's going to go ahead and get that launch pad, get himself out of dodge, and begin his rotation. Question is, where does he want to land? He probably could have challenged that player, but I think it's a little bit smarter. Just go to the edge of that next storm zone, get yourself to safety, establish, and then see where the next zone is. Right? It's again, every interaction matters. Every decision they make is literally going to make or break their game.
So on that rotation in and of itself, you have 2 choices when you're going through. You can come down on the very near side of the zone where there's going to be more players, but you want to land towards an edge because the next circle goes outside of the bounds of the safe zone. If you don't go to an edge and you go to the middle, you're guaranteed a rotation no matter what. Whereas if you do get an edge, you're either on the backside and have to rotate right away, or everyone rotates into you. So the safe calculated play is you put yourself in the middle for an even rotation, but that means you're in the middle of the rotation and guaranteed have to rotate. So if you put yourself towards the side with mixed utility, you at least have a chance of hitting the zone. But then on the flip side, if it goes back to the opposite side, it's really rough. Most of the times during that overlapping zone, I'd say you want to go far side simply because the near side's going to be stacked and there's less threats there. So even if you do have to rotate away, most players aren't rotating all the way over there. As you can see Sealmat doing right now and then turning about face. Sees all the players dropping down from the sky. And that was the slow redeploy. That's what I'm talking about. If you go to press space, as somebody knocks your ramp out from under you, you'll be stuck in that slow redeploy forever. But Sealmat opts not to punish that player. Instead, swaps targets onto gun deals and swats him out of the sky, swapping his name from Epic Whales Duo back to Sealmat so we can give him the credit where credit is due without undue confusion.
Dang it, you literally stole my joke. I was going to say, man, I'm so happy to see that Sealmat has changed his name from Epic Whales Duo to his real name so we can give him the credit. Dang it, Sundown. It's like you read mine.
There?
It wasn't like a joke. I'm just saying that was like.
Oh, it was one of your jokes. Got it.
Yeah, so it's not
As
funny.
we hit top 25 there, Pearl taking out Hitmarker and Sealmat getting over to the far side. 3 points for everyone. Top 15 will be the next one for an additional 2 points, and then top 5 in the Victor Royale after that. But Sealmat wants the points from the Elims. You can see the baller kind of griefing him a little bit there, just hitting the spacebar, knocking the builds, not letting him be safe. But Anjul gets picked up. Brilliantly done there from Steelmat, and now going to opt to pop the shadow and get on out.
Oh, I like that rotation because typically when you do with a door and you use a shadow bomb and then you open the door, players know to laser the door instantly because you're going to be coming out as a shadow. If you edit up and then you just bounce out of the box, no one can really tell where you are, and it makes you way more difficult target to hit. That's dope.
Adapting, man, like we said, everyday people pushing the limit. But now we got Buphack up on the high ground. Boombo in combat shotgun, sitting on full draw right now, has an explosive shotgun round ready to go in case anybody gets greeted by it. Sees the shadow player, not able to find the first hit. Baller right next to him, just pickaxe him. That works too. You can send him on down, but he's going to be able to catch himself. See, if he had pickaxed him there,
he would have got
out in the storm, would have got an Elam.
Yep.
Just saying, 200 IQ.
You know what I'm curious about? I know
That's another thing.
Okay.
It's top 15, so that's a 3-point swing there. But an explode or any AoE damage that hits a baller, if it breaks it, will crack through. Buphack gets Wavy Jacob as well, the player who is in the top 5 tomorrow. So good high ground domination from him. But on board with Steelmat, 2 Elims and top 12 the next round of points. But he also still has 3 stinks, Zeke.
These just increase in value over the course of the game, right? You got to think the stink bomb is a little bit larger than a 1x1 grid space. When you throw it in, especially in this tight of a corridor, you're going to get guaranteed damage. Remember, that's damage that ignores shields and hits directly to the health bar. If he just drops it down on the players down below, he's going to get a bunch of damage numbers, and he's going to be able to track them. Because remember, that damage number is ticking, and you can track where that number is coming from.
Drop it on the backside of the storm on low ground. Players will always be there. Always, no matter what. But right now you can see he's only on the 31 builds, trying to find a little bit of room to navigate. Finds a big pot, knows there's a player over on the side. This is when you should be using those stinks. They are going to get to a critical point where you will have no more area to get it. But Steelmat says, I know better. I'm going to stick to that combat shotgun. Top 5, top 4 now as Pearl gets end picks. Pearl on the high ground. Buphack on the tarp beneath. Steelmat now on the mid tarp. So now Buphack on ultimate low. And there it is. Drop down the stink. Drop down a rocket as well. Steelmat got the last up. Buphack, that's the wrong way. Flit knocks out into the storm. Steelmat should just drop another stink on the low ground. Oh no! He put it in his own box! He put it in his own box! So Fetty got the tick over onto it because he was the last one who tagged him forever ago. Pearl got the tick as well. 17 points for Pearl, but that's rough. You know what? That's just one of those ones where you wake up in the morning and you're like, yep, it was just right before lift up the covers. You smelt it, you dealt it. Real rough there, taking yourself out. Not about the Dutch oven there, but hopping into the next match. Tracer, Lior, Poser, Kicks all over by Pleasant Park. You have Doten in the corner, and Tracer has a nice little loadout, 6 shadows with the combat. Also has a tower built up, so might have a little bit of extra resources underneath, and has priority rotation on the zone. You can see right on the edge of the Pleasant Park circle.
Yeah, I mean, right now, at this point, he could just look to gatekeep players as they're trying to get themselves into safety. I want to see, though, I was going to say, I want to see like a wide shot. I want to see more of what's going on here in Pleasant Park. A lot of players are on that outside edge, and they need to start making their way in. You can tell, right? There's players that have already established themselves in this new safe zone. Now it's about everyone else. How do they get in? Are their rotations safe? Do they have long rotations? Does someone around them have a potential launchpad or rift that they could use? Do they have that utility? So many possible decisions. Look at that. Choi, he was flying in the air and just gets ripped to shreds. He's not been eliminated, not yet, but he is in definite critical condition. Bolt Johnny, they're going to be picked off in 38th place. Rough, not the worst, but rough for sure.
That's pretty bad.
It's pretty bad.
That's pretty bad. I'm not in terms of like, getting to 38th is bad, but playing 18 minutes or whatever in a game to get to the 5th circle and then being dropped out before placement points doesn't feel good as a player. Tracer now popping the shadow, going to opt to try and find a little bit of room. You can see, again, the players gravitate more towards the outside of this 5th circle. Gradient Bricks picks up last live. Tracer hitting the tree to get a little bit more, sitting on 5 Elims and 5 smoke bombs. And now, while you're towards the outside of the circle, everyone on the eastern side of Pleasant now has priority on that zone, and players are going to have to go past. 35 players left, playing safe, playing dense. Nobody wants to get picked off right here. We've talked about it before. The placement threshold is kind of the barrier. Like, hey, was this an acceptable game? You can't spend this much time in a match and not get placed